Alright guys, we are back for more of BlueHedgehogMan17's birthday special. We just played some Sonic Chaos for the Sega Master System, and that was pretty fun, but unfortunately, we were not able to get through the entire game as we ended up on the third act on Sleeping Egg Zone. It was just pretty ridiculous right here for what happened. I mean, not being able to get to the end, and the reason why this happened was, if you all didn't see that previous segment, I just kept dying right here due to some very unfair attacks by some of the bosses that I took on right here early on in the game right here. I literally tried so hard right here to try to make it all the way up to the very end, but I just could not quite do it right here. But you know, it's just how it goes sometimes, and you don't really know what to expect when it comes to bosses like this. But anyways, for our next segment, we are going to be playing... That's right! Mario Party 8 for the Nintendo Wii. So let's see if we can do good on this game. And we're going to be doing this a little bit differently this time around, because we're not going to be playing a normal party game like we usually do, because BlueHedgehogMan17 requested something specific for me to do in the minigame tent, and I do know for a fact it's going to be something new that I have not showed off before on this game, but the specific kind of thing for what BlueHedgehogMan17 requested me to do for the segment, this one I'm looking forward to showing off right here, and I'll talk more about that once we actually do get into it in just a moment. So anyways, like I said, we're going to be going to the minigame tent this time around for the specific thing that BlueHedgehogMan17 requested in this segment. Alright, let's go to one player, and I'll of course play as Mario. And we'll just go ahead and randomize the computer players here. But for this, it doesn't really matter right here what we do about that, because basically, the kind of mode in the minigame tent that we're going to do is just for one player. But anyways, the specific mode here in the minigame tent that BlueHedgehogMan17 requested me to do for the segment is Test for the Best. And what this is all about right here is that you put your skills to the test right here in a series of minigames to see how far up in the air you can go. And I really do like this mode for how it does play right here, and I'm really excited to show this off right here and see what it's all about. Welcome to Test for the Best. First things first, let's take a quick look at the rules. In Test for the Best, you'll try to earn the highest possible score and skill grade from each of 10 minigames. You can earn 1,000 points in each test, leading to a total of 10,000 points overall. So yeah, depending on how well you do in each of the minigames, depends on how many points you do get right here. As you can see right here on the bottom left, I have a record of 9,027. This one I haven't done in a while in general right here, but like I said, this is my first time that I do know that I am showing this kind of thing off right here in the game on my channel. So I'm really excited to see how this does go, and hopefully we can get ourselves a very nice score. But anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. And to make all this a lot more extreme, I'll send you further skyward for every point you earn. So give it your all. I want to see that balloon soar into the stratosphere. In addition to elevating your score after each minigame, you'll also get a rating A+, A, B, C, D, or F. Strive for straight A+ grades to show that you're top of your class and on top of the world. So get ready for your 10-game marathon. Let Test for the Best begin. Alright, here's your first test. Alright, so let's go ahead and spin the wheel and find out which minigame we're starting with first. Oh, Saucer Swarm, okay. So we certainly do know how this works right here. You may know all about this kind of minigame, mainly in the battle mini games, in the actual party games, and this also does appear in duels as well. Alright, so anyways, let's shoot as many aliens as we can here within 30 seconds. Ah, oh, couldn't quite get that golden alien there. Uh-oh, I just got shocked. Alright, 42 points right there. I'd say that was a good performance there on that first minigame that we played. And looks like we ended up with a C rank right there. So that gives us 750 points. And depending on your grade that you get on the minigames, I do like that it tells you the title that you are right here. Like right here, I was the average defender. I know you're trying. I look forward to seeing what you can do with more practice. Time to fly. Every point you've earned will send you higher into the sky. I'm going up our first little bit of distance here. I say we're off to a pretty good start. Alright, now time for test number 2. Alright, what mini game do we have next? Oh, swing canes! Now this one I'm going to be very good at right here. I think I'm feeling very confident that I can get a perfect score on this. Alright, here we go. Alright! Perfect 20 right there, just like that. And that gives us an A+ right there for 1,000 points, and that was a home run cane. Rock solid, what nerves of steel. Up you go, you get 1,000 points worth of lift. Alright, just got past the 1,000 point mark there. Alright, let's go to test number 3 now. And what is our next mini game? Bumper cars! Okay. So I will say this is going to be a very fun mini game right here. Some of you guys might know this, but this is basically one of the dual mini games that they have on here. I normally am very good at this because it's all about trying to get as much speed as possible. Alright, 15.5 seconds right there for our time. Alright, let's see how well we did. A B, so that gives us 800 points, and I was a muscle major. Good work. Just a little harder, and it wouldn't have been an A. Up you go. You got 800 points worth of lift. Alright, there's the 2,000 point mark. Alright, let's move on to test number 4. Alright, and our next minigame is going to be selling corn. This is basically where we try to shoot as much baskets as we can right here. I really do like this one, and it is another minigame that we are playing where it's normally a dual minigame. Alright, let's do it. Alright, 18 points right there. And I do believe that was a perfect right here from what I was keeping track of. Yup, that is an A+. So that gives us 1,000 points, and I was a hoop super shooter. Flawless. That was pure skill at work. Up you go. You get 1,000 points worth of left. We're now past the 3,000 point mark. We're really getting a nice amount of distance right here from what we can see. Alright, time for test number 5. Alright, what are we playing next? Rotation Station. Alright, not really too big of a fan of this one, but we'll see how much of a good time that we can get. And once again, we have another minigame that we're playing where it's normally a dual minigame. Alright, just gotta try our best to get to the top as quickly as possible. Let's make sure we tilt the wheel remote here so we can control the camera in some sections. Alright, we're now at a checkpoint. Oh, dang, I just fell down. It was hard for me to see where I was going with where the camera was, but at least I didn't lose too much time. Alright, we're almost there. Alright, looks like our final time was a minute 1.8 seconds. Alright, we end up with a C right there, which is not too bad. So that gets us 732 points right here, and I was a common climber. Well, that was okay. I guess you could do worse. Up you go. You get 732 points worth of left. Past the 4,000 point mark now. Alright, we're halfway through our series of mini-games, so it's now time for test number 6. Alright, what mini-game do we have now? Surf's way up. Okay. So once again, another mini-game that we're playing where it's normally a dual mini-game. Alright. Anyways, let's see how much of a good score we can get on this one. Of course, along the way, we want to make sure we try to avoid the Bowsers right here, otherwise it's going to reset our score. I've got 700 points for that. I'll take it. Alright, we do get an A for that. So we got 916 points overall on that one, and I was a stellar surfer. Nice, nice. Almost perfect even. Up you go. You get 916 points worth of left. And we're now past the 5,000 point mark. Very nice. Alright, let's go to test number 7. And what do we have now for the next mini game? Alpine Assault. Alright. Anyways, time to go snowboarding to see how quickly we can make it down the mountain. I missed the ramp! I dang it. .53 seconds right there for that one. Very nice. Oh, A+! How about that? Alright, 1,000 points coming my way there, and I was a high-speed boarder. Perfect score! I'm flabbergasted. Up you go, you get 1,000 points worth of left. That'll make us get past the 6,000 point mark. Alright, let's move on to test number 8. We just have 3 tests to go. What's the next minigame gonna be? Oh, eye on the prize. This might be a little bit of a tough one right here. It's basically where we gotta try to sort the colors into the correct containers. So we're back to the mini games that are normally dual mini games. It's where you really gotta try to have some good reflexes on to try to get the best score possible. I have 54 points right there. I would say that was kind of a little bit better compared to what I was expecting. How well did we do? Oh, an A! I'll take that. Alright, 933 points for that one, and I was a superior separator. Good job. And under such pressure, too. Up you go. You get 933 points worth of left. We're now past the 7,000 point mark. As you can tell, we're pretty much up in space right now at this moment. Alright, let's move on to test number 9. And what is the next mini game? We'll snipe for the picking. So this is normally a battle mini game if you guys are aware of in the normal party games on here. Alright, see how good our aiming is right here on this one, as we try to go for the highest score. How is that not 100 there? And same thing with that one, come on. Dang it, I shot that one a little too high. Oh my god, how's that not 100? Alright, well, it's still a pretty good score that we got. 1,160 points. Alright, that gives us a B, and we earned 830 points for that. That was an on-target sniper. Good work. Just a little harder, and it wouldn't have been an A. Up you go. You got 830 points worth of left. Oh, we're so close right now to the 8,000 point mark. Alright, it's time for the 10th and final test. So we pretty much know what minigame we have left right here that we haven't done yet. And that's going to be Catastrophe. Alright, let's see how quickly we can get for 2 laps around the track. Alright, that's 1 lap down. Let's go ahead and make our way through the second one. Oh, Barry made it through that turn just fine. Alright, looks like we're going to end up with a time of 43.4 seconds. And we're going to get ourselves an A! Nicely done. 980 points for that last test, and that was a supersonic squealer. Nice, nice. Almost perfect even. Up you go. You get 980 points worth of lift. Woo! Bet you're tired after 10 minigames in a row. Good job on making it all the way. Now I'll figure out your overall minigame skill based on all your scores. Alright, anyways, let's see our final results. Oh, I was an orbital master. Alright. So that was a good performance right there for how well we did, as we end up with a total of 8,941 points. We were pretty close to 9,000 right there, but I'll still take that kind of a score right there. And you can very much see the total scores that I have right here on all the mini games that we did. So overall, most of these scores we did really, really good on right here. I managed to get 3 A pluses right here, which were on Swing, Cane, Stellan, and Court, and Alpine Assault. And I have 3 A's right here, which were on Surf's Way Up, Eye on the Prize, and Catastrophe. And then I had 2 B's, which were in Pumper Cars and Snipe for the Picking. And finally I had 2 C's, which were in Saucer Swarm and Rotation Station. But yeah, I'd say we had a good performance right there on all 10 of the mini games that we did on our way up right here. And I'm pretty proud for how this segment turned out right here overall. Alright, we're going to get 30 Carnival cards. Alright, so I must say, that was a pretty fun segment right here for how that turned out right here. And I will say overall, Test of the Best, it's very fun to do in the minigame 10 on this game. And I'm really going to have a great time playing it for the first time on my channel overall. And who knows, maybe I might play some more of it in the future right here, but we'll just have to wait and see. And it looks like I'm getting another 10 Carnival cards. That's basically 1 card each for every one of the mini games that I did along the way on Test of the Best. So that's pretty nice right there. But anyways, that is going to do it for Mario Party 8 for the Nintendo Wii as part of BlueHedgehogMan17's birthday special. But we still have 3 more games left to play. We are getting pretty close to the end of this birthday special at the moment, but we just got a few more games to take care of before we're done here. But anyways, I will see you all for the next segment right after this, so stay tuned.